You are now listening to a Rabble Press podcast.
Clock out, come home, and drink away. To bash and burn the weekly plays. Douchey calls and sweaty balls, this is Scotch sporting.
So is it cheating?
Is what cheating?
Using a drop from another podcast to start this one?
I don't think it's cheating per se. I just think, if we don't say anything funny, then we don't say anything. Maybe there'll be something really funny that happens. Like, I had to dig real deep last week to find that Trump clip of you. Did you listen to the?
Sometimes, of course it is. Sometimes we're just not funny.
No, we're always funny. What are you talking about? This is the funniest
all the time. But
this is the funniest sports show on the internet.
It is the funniest sports show on the internet. And if you think so, and you're listening to this, tell someone else.
That's right.
Are we still on Leap Sports?
I don't know. And it feels like we should know something like that.
We should know what network we broadcast on.
I can tell you for certain that we're on Twitch right now live. Twitch.tv/ZanusToSeth if you're looking to watch us live. Usually Wednesday nights.
Spell such a name like Zanus
ZAENISDESEF. That's how you would spell it. Now, we're also on YouTube at youtube.com/rabblepress.
And
so you can check that out as well.
My hair.
And I haven't shaved. In like 4 days. But I did cut my hair. Look I have respectable sideburns again, not this fucking bush growing off the side of my head.
Not this hippie bullshit you were doing before.
That's right. I looked like I don't know. I don't even know what I was gonna say. It looked like the 70s on the side of my face, and it was not pretty.
You guys missed what this podcast recording was delayed for.
Right.
And I'm a little bit upset.
I'm sorry. The problem is 7 p.m. is never a good time for me.
No, it's not a good time for anybody.
Okay,
but
good.
Apparently it's a terrible time. It was a huge rush.
Right.
But to say it was worth it to watch She's All That.
Listen.
That's a huge lie.
You can talk shit about. I fucking love that movie.
It is concerningly sexist. So
is it really? Okay, I haven't watched it in like 20 years, but
oh boy, we usually record our podcast at 8:30 on Wednesdays. We pushed it to 9, so we're recording this a little bit later for us. It'll probably drop around the same time, which is questionable. Whenever
could be Wednesday, could be Thursday, could be Friday.
Who knows? It's gonna be a big surprise. And sometimes I forget, and then it's Saturday morning.
Right?
Who knows? But we are recording this later because we were doing a bad movie night with our friends, and tonight's a rare weekday bad movie night, and we did She's All That.
Right. So tell me about She's All That.
Well, it's a lot of... So first of all, she truly just takes off her glasses.
Right.
Like, there's really no difference.
Right.
Is that my issue then? My glasses?
I think, well, based on this movie... That is your only issue. Is the glasses. Are you wearing a lot of overalls too? Because that seemed to be the other issue with her.
Stop
that
wearing
was a 90s
overalls.
thing.
She's wearing, but the cool girls didn't wear overalls.
No.
And it was very insulting to someone with an art degree.
Right.
Because obviously she was a huge nerd and a fucking loser because she was into art.
How dare you be into art?
And she brought her sketchbook to the beach.
Right.
Like a fucking loser.
You fucking nerd.
Only ugly people.
Right.
Sketch at the beach, obviously.
Obviously. Could you stop being ugly, Rachel Lee Cook?
But then there's so many, I was saying it's sexist because there's so many moments. He literally says, you should smile more.
Wow.
And he shows up at her house, and she said,
"Wasn't Kevin Pollak her dad?"
Kevin Pollak is her dad.
That's
Kieran
amazing.
Culkin is her brother.
Kieran Culkin, that's right. Yep.
Paul Walker is the villain best friend.
Right.
So one of the drinking game rules is that if he comes on screen, if you don't say "R.I.P. Paul Walker,"
you have to drink. Okay.
Lil Kim is in it. Gabrielle Union's in it. Dooley Hill is in it. Like we knew everybody in that cast.
Mm-hmm.
So she shows up at her house and she says, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "Stop avoiding me," which is like, I come to your house.
Right. Stop avoiding me. Hold on. Let me track you down and stalk you a little.
And you should smile more,
And
sweetheart.
you should smile more, please.
He pulls off her glasses and says, "Have you ever tried not wearing your glasses?" Who says that?
Have you tried not wearing your glasses? Well, I kind of need my glasses to see what the fuck's going on in this world, so no, I haven't tried that.
Have you tried contacts?
How about you try shut the fuck up, Freddie Prinze Jr.?
You sack of shit? No. Anyways, it doesn't hold up.
No. I mean, don't forget, because what, it come out in it was the 90s still, right? It was like 98?
1999.
99? Okay. I mean, that's a long time. Things have changed in 20 years.
I'm nervous to watch back 10 Things I Hate About You because I genuinely loved that movie and I wonder if it's the same bullshit.
Don't watch it. Don't watch
Although
it.
it's loosely based on what? Tame of the Shrew, right? Is that the one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is on Pygmalion and My Fair Lady.
And listen, I really enjoy 10 Things I Hate About You as well. I like.
Maybe it holds up.
I'm a like sucker for that time period because that was like, you know, my late teens. It was like, yeah, everything was great.
I'm just 13, I think. Like, it created a lot of false expectations about what being a teenager was.
Right, that's true. I could see that. See, for me, because I was at the end of my teenage career. Yeah, and because it was that, and then what's the one with Ethan Embry and Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah,
that one I really like.
We're talking about doing a double feature.
Okay.
But it just not on a weekday. I wanted to do a Matthew Lillard, Freddie Prinze Jr. double feature and go into Wing Commander.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which is genuinely
I've never seen it, I don't think. I'm positive I've never seen it.
Awful.
Right.
Awful.
Right.
Because the games weren't particularly great.
Right. But yeah, I've never seen the movie.
You should put that with Battleship.
Oh.
I think we were doing a Battleship Pacific Rim.
But Battleship's actually based off
and Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is actually a fun movie. The first one. The first one's actually super fun.
Okay, gents.
Okay, let's go. Let's talk about these fuckers.
Speaking of fuckers.
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't even know where to start because I'm just so furious. And I can't really articulate why, which is not good for a podcast.
Yeah, we really need to
vocalize
and
we need to talk. So I'm just gonna try and speak from the heart.
Use your words.
Of course this is what happened.
Oh yeah.
Of course. So Tom Brady, as we know, has signed with Tampa Bay.
Cheater Tom Brady. You forgot to
Cheater Tom Brady. And my dad likes to give me shit about, I don't think he particularly likes Tom Brady, but he knows I hate him, so he gives me shit. I sent him an article. Tom Brady was cited in Florida for working out at a public park. Because the rules don't apply to this sack of garbage.
I mean, listen, I've been reading,
and I'm white.
I've been reading a lot of stuff about athletes having trouble keeping in shape right now because of social distancing rules.
Oh.
I mean, listen.
Don't all these people have like home gyms?
Right, but you can't. Yeah, okay. How is Tom Brady going to throw a football 60 yards in his home?
He's got a big backyard, does he not?
Does he? Do you know that he does? Maybe he's got a tiny backyard. Maybe it's full of trees and he can't throw. Listen, all I'm saying is it's an issue for people. And don't forget that not all athletes are Tom Brady.
It didn't sound like he was airing out a football in a big public park.
Right.
It sounded like he was
Just
using
tossing
the
it.
jungle gym equipment.
I'm just trying to say, listen, there are athletes out there right now who don't necessarily play in the NFL and who don't necessarily make $20 million a year. There's athletes who make, $75,000 a year, which is still a good income, but it's not enough to like have a, professional training facility inside your house.
I
what
spent about $75
Uh-huh.
on Amazon, and
Right.
I purchased a yoga mat
Mhm.
and an exercise ball
Okay.
and adjustable hand weights.
Ooh. And so now you're ready to strap them up.
Now
and
I
get-
am a professional athlete. No,
Right.
I just said like the rules can't
No,
apply differently.
I understand, and I'm not trying to make excuses for Tom Brady.
You clearly are.
But
You
I'm
literally
trying to
excuse.
say that athletes are having a particularly tough time staying in shape during this pandemic, and that's something that needs to be, especially on a sports podcast. We need to understand. No, because sports are going to come back, and
Yeah.
so the problem is if they're not staying in shape, well, what kind of product are we going to get when they come back? They're all going to look like
hilarious
Thor.
one.
They're all going to look like Thor.
Staying in shape and throwing football are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing a football is working on your mechanics. Staying in shape is completely different.
It's the same thing, Mark.
No, it's not.
Staying in game shape means him throwing the ball, means him running a 40, means him, doing the stupid fucking thing that quarterbacks do. God, you better be watching the video.
The Dak Prescott thing, which he can do indoors at his house.
Sure. All I'm saying is there
So
needs to be.
obviously-
I don't see that $75,000 football player doing the same thing Tom Brady's doing.
Yeah, how come Tom the only one that got the fucking citation?
I thought I heard of someone else getting a citation as well, but I can't remember who. But I know I read about a CFL kickers having a really hard time right now, and you got to think kickers are kickers need to kick. Where are you going to kick?
Kicker's got a kick.
And where are you going to kick right now?
You can't kick your wife, or can you? Maybe you can.
Only in the NFL. Can't do that in the CFL.
Thank you. I pitched that up in the air. I'm really glad you spiked it down. But safely inside our own home. So I always knew you were a Tom Brady apologist.
I still think. Listen, he's the greatest of all time. I'm sticking to it. I totally.
But here's my point now, and part of what makes me so angry. So if you've been living under a rock for the last 24 hours, can I please join you? Because I wish I never knew this.
Right.
Gronkowski, who is a human cotton ball with googly eyes in terms of intelligence level, has left his WWE contract, or he's going to do both, and he has unretired from the NFL and rejoined the NFL to be traded to Tampa Bay.
And the more hilarious thing is the Fox Sports tweeted out a video of him earlier this season, I believe, where they said, where he says, "Oh yeah, I got traded once," and apparently the Patriots had traded him to the Detroit Lions, and they called him to tell him, "Hey Gronk, we traded you," and he goes, "What do you mean? I'm retired."
This is true.
And he retired to get out of the trade.
So, well, let's start with that, because Mark, you'll probably remember it. Was it Evgeny Nabokov that went to the KHL and then he wanted to come back to the NHL, but accidentally was coming back to a garbage team?
Yes.
Well, he wanted to join the Red Wings, but because the Islanders were lower on the waiver wire, they picked him up.
And it was, okay, well, you can come back to the NHL, but you're going to be playing for the Islanders.
Right.
Which he didn't want to do. So he just sat out that year of his contract.
And then ended up playing with the
And
Islanders.
still ended up
anyways.
playing with the Islanders.
But like I hate these guys. And it's always the rich white guys.
Oh no, hold on. A couple years ago, current Westworld star Marshawn Lynch did this.
Yep.
Sorry, say that first part again.
current Westworld star Marshawn Lynch.
You're saying I just want to clarify. You're saying current
Yes,
Westworld star.
Mhm.
Westworld.
He's in
on
Westworld
As what?
as an actor.
Technically,
Is he-
like a mercenary
Yeah,
with a very clever shirt.
the shirt's actually really awesome.
Is he good?
He's actually not bad, but I mean, he's not really
He's not
doing
re-
much.
Yeah,
He's just
there is
there.
not much range.
His shirt is really cool, so he's got that.
Is it a beast mode shirt?
No, because
No,
the shirt has all like
Has
different emotions, and so
and the
whatever
one that
emotion
he's feeling, it highlights.
is lit up. It's actually really awesome.
Is he a robot?
No,
No,
he's a man.
Do you remember hypercolor shirts? We're old enough.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
They're
I can
really
put the
cool. And
handprints on it.
then my mom put my brothers through the wash, and then it just was its hypercolor for all
It
time.
still
It was
is.
not like
It still
you
is the
couldn't dry
hypercolor.
it.
Right.
No, it like remember when it got hot and it changed colors, and then my mom like I don't know if she ironed it or put it in the hot dryer, but then it was just always that color and
Yeah.
it never changed.
It's like, thanks, Mom. You ruined everything.
It was a big bummer. We always had like the cool thing, but then the off-brand. Like I didn't have a Tamagotchi, but I had a Dinky Dino, and I didn't have like a Bop It thing, but I had a Skip It. Like it was just we always had we had an amazing childhood, but we always had like just the. So I don't think it was an actual hypercolor. Anyways, so Dave and I were talking about it when it was first like, oh, he wants to come back. He wants to come back to Tampa Bay. He's like, but the Patriots still hold his rights.
Yeah.
So, Mark, is this a good deal? Because if I'm Christopher Patriot, I would have been like, fuck you.
You mean
Hold on to
Robert
these
Kraft, of course.
rights. That guy.
Yeah.
In between BJs, I would have said, you
From
know what?
BJ's from Sex Slaves. Let's clarify.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Sex traffic BJs. Absolutely. I would have said, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm hanging on to his rights. Was it a good deal, Mark?
In their eyes, it's probably a good deal because Gronkowski was never going to play for them again, anyways.
So they
So
might
they
as
got-
well get something.
They got a 4th round pick out of it, which isn't that bad.
See,
And considering that they're giving away a player that is again has been out of football for a while, is not the same caliber player as he once was, and he's traded to a team where they already have 2 other tight ends, so it's a surplus of positions. It's not helping.
It's a
Tampa
weird.
get any better.
It's a weird trade. So in our chat here, someone says the Bucks won the trade because they got Gronk for a 7th and a 4th, and that's true. But like, the Patriots really won the trade because, like Mark said,
he wasn't
going to play. So they got something for nothing,
A
for
4th round
literally
pick.
nothing. Yeah. So I'd take that trade every day of the week. And yes, the Bucks are definitely doing well because now Brady's got, you know, his best buddy to throw the ball to. And
So you said, Mark, there's a surplus of players with tight ends in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Is Gronk's getting starts? Because Tom Brady's that like Dave's watching
I mean, you trade for him, he's getting starts.
Dave's watching the Michael Jordan documentary right now, and I feel like Tom Brady is running this team.
sorry, I misspoke. It was Gronk and a 7th for a 4th. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I
for a
misspoke.
4th,
I
yeah.
thought it was yeah. Sorry.
So the Patriots, Okay, so
It's a 4th round pick.
let's say this was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Gronk hasn't retired yet, but he's still not the player he was.
He's not even
But he-
close to the player he was 3 years ago.
He was clearly on his downswing.
Yeah.
Like injury prone, whatever. If this was 2 years ago, or if he had played for the Patriots last year with Tom Brady, similar results, injured for a lot of it, blah blah blah. Would any team have made that trade? Like, is that a good trade if he hadn't been out of football for a year?
It's a good trade if you have Tom Brady on your team.
It's the reason why you make that trade, is
Yep.
because Tom Brady's on your team.
Listen, you make that trade because you know you're going to make Tom happy, and you know
Mhm.
you're going to make Gronk happy, and you got a couple happy guys on your team. They can make the locker room really happy.
A glint off the side of a mirror would make Gronk happy.
It's true. say the number 69, and Gronk's like, yeah. 420, what? Right? 420, it's so funny.
So,
Uh,
with Tom Brady running this team now,
it feels that way, doesn't it?
it definitely feels that way. Gronk is getting the majority of the starts, right?
Oh, for sure. Unless he's hurt.
Yeah.
Now, I look to you, Mark, with your infinite knowledge, depth chart wise. Is Gronk anywhere close to their number one tight end?
If he's healthy and the same Gronk as 3 years ago, he's far and away their best tight end. But OJ Howard's a pretty decent tight end. Same with Cameron Brate.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they already had a 2 tight end system with 2 decent tight ends.
So are they going to trade one of those?
Possibly, because again, they still need help at running back and offensive line. Those were the problems before they got Tom Brady, and still the problem now.
Okay, so part of what we've been yelling about when we talk about Tom Brady, aside from the fact I hate him and Chris loves him for some reason.
I don't love him. I'm just acknowledging that he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
You're a traitor to us all, my friend. So part of the thing is what does Tom Brady have to gain? This can only be bad for him. We've talked about coming out on top. Hasn't he achieved everything he's wanted to? And his whole thing, and what we've said is like the only reason he'd keep playing for another team is he has more to prove, and I need to prove I can do this basically on my own.
Right.
With a stacked team.
Is this now not defeating the purpose? Like,
I hope they go 9-9 and miss the playoffs. I'm like, this is what I want. I want them to go 9-9 and miss the playoffs.
Reminds me of when the Lakers went out and got Steve Nash and Dwight Howard, and they had a starting lineup of Kobe, Pau Gasol, Metta World Peace, Nash, and Howard. 5 All-Stars, and people thought they were just going to run over the NBA. And they get swept in the first round.
Yeah.
After finishing 7th in the Western Conference. It was fantastic. I loved it.
not for Steve Nash.
No, not for Steve Nash, but
he never won a championship, did he?
Not a single one.
That's criminal.
Back-to-back MVP.
That's criminal.
No NBA championship.
Yeah, he's on that list, and I know we've done, and maybe we'll do that next week, just because boy are we desperate for content.
Yeah.
But I do love analyzing who's the best player in each sport that has never won the championship.
Ooh, we should do that. I have so many names.
I also found a great article, but I want to figure our list. Who's the best team that never won?
The 2019 Hamilton Tiger Cats. I'm dead serious. They should have cleaned up in that game last year, and they fucking choked. They were so good last year.
So we'll think about it and we'll talk about it next week. But is this not that's really what I wanted to talk about this week? Is this not defeating the purpose of Tom Brady? I'm going to do it on my own, and I can do it without Bill Belichick and this old Patriots team. Just kidding. Please bring my All-Stars.
Yeah.
Could you go get Wes Welker too? Could you get Wes out of retirement?
Jesse sent there's this gif of this reporter going up to a fence and just like shaking it and just screaming in agony. And under the caption was Edelman trying to get into the Buccaneers practice facility. And I typed out, "Oh, is Edelman publicly drunk again?"
So how do you guys feel about that?
How do I feel about this? I mean, I think it was always gonna happen. I don't know. I forgot. I actually better text the guy that I work with who's a Patriots fan, because obviously I haven't seen him in a month. But I want to, obviously he's gonna be ecstatic about this, because he was always planning on cheering for the Bucks this year since the trade or since the signing happened.
Is he giving up on the Patriots, or is he
No. He's just cheering for both. So, which is sad.
That is. Stick to your team.
Stick to your team. Exactly. I mean, I've had players that I love go to other teams, and
Patrick Marleau.
That's one. Owen Nolan. I mean, we can.
My favorite player went to a bunker in Minnesota.
Right, and so I never changed teams. I always said, Like when Patrick Marleau played for the Leafs, I said, hey, if the Sharks are out and the Leafs are still in, I will passively cheer for the Leafs. I wouldn't wear a Leafs jersey or a Leafs hat because fuck the Toronto Maple Leafs. But and I'm glad that Patrick Marleau doesn't play for them anymore, so I don't have any reason to cheer for them. But now he plays for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and so I kind of have to cheer, especially since there's no way the Sharks are making the playoffs this year if this year ever continues, and maybe the year doesn't continue, and then Patrick Marleau re-signs with the Sharks and everything's good.
Maybe the Sharks do get the playoffs because they might do that whole fucking random.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Because Carlson will be he'll be fixed. Couture's fixed. Evander Kane's fixed. We might actually be okay.
But some teams might have problems with the salary cap because they were making moves at the deadline thinking that they were still on the April playoff timeline. But now, like the Leafs, they're going to be in cap trouble because they have all these players coming back that they didn't think they're going to have until the playoffs. Because in the playoffs, the cap doesn't count.
Yeah. Ooh, this is awkward.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll think of something between now and when they'll
Resume.
play in July, maybe. So I've always questioned, like, and motivation behind professional athleticism is part of the reason I am not a professional athlete. Because as discussed, I just love playing sports, and I get to the playoffs, and I'm like, I'm done. I don't really care anymore. I don't choke, but I just don't care.
Right.
So, and we've talked about people like Sidney Crosby. What are they still playing for? And Tom Brady, I think we all landed on the fact that he wanted to prove he was bigger than the Patriots system.
I think that's what this is all about. Him going to Tampa Bay is him trying to prove that
and
I am not a
totally
product.
get that.
I am not a product of Bill Belichick.
And I think, and there's always going to be the talk of Peyton Manning, and like we've talked about it before. I'm in Camp Manning because he was able to do it with multiple teams, and I think this is Brady's way of shutting it down. But he's bringing in his guy.
I don't think that's necessarily.
Gronk won't be the main difference, though.
And then I was going to say, is Gronk enough of a difference maker?
No. They need a running back desperately in Tampa.
So does this change? I think we made our predictions of where Tampa Bay would wind up. Does this change this at all for any of us?
Not really. I mean, this is a tough division that he's in. This is not like, had he stayed in the AFC East, they're going to win the AFC East. Now Buffalo's going to win the AFC East. What the fuck is going on?
What a world that we live in right now.
I mean, for so many reasons. Did you, I don't even want to talk about the mayor of Las Vegas. What a fucking twit she is. Oh my God.
Hey, I am patiently waiting to resume filming in Las Vegas.
Right.
And her stupidity could be my gain.
Right.
And your gain for your sweet, sweet content on television.
Correct. Because that's what we need.
There's some real dumb people running things down in the States. And in Florida, because they've opened up. Well, now Tom Brady won't get cited because they've opened up gyms in Florida.
Right, that's true.
And massage parlors, because obviously you're able to get a massage from 6 feet away. And get a haircut, barbershop, tattoo parlor.
Mark, that picture. Hold on, I gotta see if I can bring that picture up on the stream. That picture that you.
With Kaepernick.
So the picture is.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna bring it up on my phone because I don't think it's gonna be really hard for me to get it onto the computer. I'll hold it up to the camera. It's really good. This is really good radio. For those
Maybe we
listening.
should put that as a picture of our.
All right. So the picture is really. Hold on. Let me try turning off the light here.
This
A
is
little less
very
glare.
old school.
No, that's not working.
Still not
Anyways,
working.
so
I
the
gotta
picture,
give props to Jesse because he was the one who sent me that photo.
yeah, the picture is Kaepernick kneeling down, and underneath it says "son of a bitch traitor," and then beside it is a Karen with a MAGA hat and a what's the fucking the name?
Confederate flag.
What's that?
It's a Confederate
The
flag?
Confederate flag. Thank you. With the sign says "I need a haircut," with 100% Patriot written under it. And this is the bullshit that's going on in this world right now. Like, listen, you know.
But I guess I've always felt that, and maybe this is why I hate Gronk so much. You can't tell me if he was black, he'd be the same beloved goofball. He'd be this, look at his crazy antics.
Right.
Like, look at how
He'd be Odell Beckham Jr.
Exactly. Look at how the media treats OBJ. Look how the media treats
Ocho
Marcelo
Cinco.
Lynch.
He would be Ocho Cinco.
Like, these guys that didn't do anything, but they were just this flamboyant, crazy personality, and were vilified for these goofballs.
Or Terrell Owens. Even better, Terrell Owens. That's it. It's my quarterback.
He was a bit of
That's
that, though. I kind of want to leave T.O. in a little separate corner.
Yeah, but I mean, he'd be in that same category.
I think OBJ is a great example. Like, he's this like whiny, non-committal baby. Like, his antics are taking away from on the field, and Gronk holds a fucking booze cruise every year.
Yeah, and everyone's totally fine with it.
And Odell Beckham sheds a little tear and hits his helmet on the kicker thing, and it's like, oh, this guy's out of control. So I think that's part of why I hate Gronk.
Is because he gets a pass because of his white privilege?
He gets a pass. I mean, I say this, if you check out the stream.
Right. Very white.
As a very epically white person.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I see it in the NFL more than
because it exists more in the NFL than any other sport. The only other sport it might exist more in is fucking NASCAR.
I was going to say hockey mostly because there are no black people.
Well, it's not that there's no black people, but there's definitely,
they're in minority.
Look at it. Look at it. Well, I mean, but you can look at Evander Kane. Remember the shit that he got into because he posted a picture of him holding
money.
A stack of money as a phone, and it was like, oh, this fucking guy again. And it's like, he did what?
He took a picture of himself holding money. What are you talking about?
He raped a bunch of people. This guy just held up, oh, it's very tone deaf for this economy, and look at this flashy sack of, hey!
Yeah, relax. Kid's done okay for himself. He's got stacks of money. Leave him alone.
He's fine. Anyways.
He's not out shooting people. He's not and I mean, anyways, okay. We can go on about this topic forever.
And as two non-people of color,
correct,
we should continue to voice
we are
opinions.
Definitely the authority on this topic. 100% to be a person of color.
Mark, we need you to tell us it's okay.
It's okay.
And 1/4 of Chris.
And 1/4. It's actually less than 1/4.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Like 1/32 or something.
No, it's eighth. An eighth.
1/8. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's more than me.
There you go.
That's not far from 1/4. That's just double.
It's one generation down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of my parents did the Ancestry DNA.
Right.
And literally all United Kingdom.
It's all.
Like, I truly could not.
If you were whiter, you would be see-through.
Truly could not be. And if you follow Scotch Boarding on Instagram, please do. I know it's just one of those stupid algorithms, but it was one of those, what type of bread are you?
Yeah.
I landed on white bread.
Of course.
Well, I mean, it could have been a baguette. Okay.
Not French enough for that.
Clearly.
Let's keep, obviously.
Yeah.
Way back in the 1000s, my family was French.
Wow.
1000s. How do you figure that out?
It was something my grandpa did like way back history of Wales, because it's easy because everyone died super young in the mines. But like basically when the United Kingdom became the United Kingdom, like with the Norman invasion, was when my family came from France to Wales. So
well, there you go.
I do have some French heritage 1,000 years ago. Okay, so is Gronk playing a full season? If we can just, I know we have a running prognostication.
Okay, so are we saying a full season or whatever the season turns out to be, that full season?
Yes, no, don't loophole this with, coronavirus.
Okay.
It is whatever they declare the NFL season to be, but I stand by, especially with the Goomba that's in the White House, there's no fucking way he's letting the NFL miss its start day.
They're starting the second week of September.
It is going
100% business as usual.
Season early.
Yep.
Guys, so whatever the NFL season ends up being, is Gronk playing a full one? And I say this not benched, injury. But if you want to double down and say he gets like benched a couple times, go for it. But
I'm saying there's zero chance he plays. It's going to be 17 games this season too, right? Didn't they change it for this season?
mm-hmm.
Okay, there's zero chance he plays 17 games.
Mark?
I say he does because he's at a position where he doesn't have to play every snap.
Okay.
He's still... What was his last full season?
How about we do this? How about instead of this, if he plays the full season, what if we just do an over-under on it?
How so?
Well, you say over under 10.5.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
taking the over.
Obviously, you're going to take the over.
A quick Gronk run. So 16 games. He has not played a full season since 2011.
Okay, so I'm definitely saying no to the full season.
There were 2 back-to-back seasons, though, where he played 15 games, 2014, 2015, so maybe they just rested him.
Right, could have been they already clinched and yeah.
2012, he played 11 games. 2013, he played 7.
Ooh.
Then we talked about 14, 15. 2016, he played 8. 2017, he played 14. And 2018, he played 13.
Okay, so let's do, instead of 10.5, let's do 12.5.
12.5? Okay.
I'm still taking the over.
I'm taking the under.
I'm also going to take the under.
Dave,
All right.
over under.
I'll document this just in case.
Mark,
Is Gronk doing a full 12.5?
12.5.
Of games played by Gronk. Under. Dave's doing under too. Mark,
Right.
why are you so sure? Because he's going to split time?
Does he have
Yes, absolutely.
Does he have a clause in his contract where if he plays X amount of games, he gets X amount of money?
Technically, it's still the same contract he had with the Patriots. He just got traded.
Right.
He didn't sign a new contract.
No, I know, but I mean, is there a performance incentives in his contract?
I
'Cause
don't know. I'll have to look
change
into
things
it.
too. So
As of right now, it's the same, but they might restructure it.
yeah, they definitely could.
And is Gronk going to be satisfied with half the
Yeah,
snap?
he's playing with his buddy, and he's not gonna be dependent to play every snap.
He'll play all the snaps when he's healthy. He's not going to be healthy.
Yeah.
He hasn't played for a full year. He's not in shape.
And he's into marijuana now.
He's into probably more than that.
And he's super skinny.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of muscle mass.
He needs to fucking hit the gym. He needs the
Yeah, he's
And those gyms aren't open right now.
That's
he's
right.
they are in Florida.
They're in Florida, though.
They opened the gyms in Florida.
Yes.
We just talked about this.
No, but I thought I didn't think they'd opened yet. I thought it was like they were talking about
It's either they have or they're opening on Friday. So he's fine. He has a face though that needs a bit of.
Yes.
He's not a good gaunt looking man.
No, he's not. He needs a
some
little
plump. Needs a little neatness. He's very ghoulish. I find him a little bit like he has a very punchable face.
Well, that's true.
But he's got that like when Heath Ledger didn't have his makeup on in the Joker, or
Right. Dark Knight,
whatever
gotcha.
the Batman,
Yep. Dark Knight.
That's his face. So okay, Patriots. If you're Tom Brady and you can bring one guy with you to the Bucks, are we? Dave says Bill Belichick from Answer.
He's right.
Are we picking Gronk?
No.
I don't know who you pick.
Who would you pick?
Edelman, probably.
Yeah.
Jewish NFL player Julian Edelman.
And he fits the system nicely because Tampa Bay's got 2 big receivers in Evans and what's his name? Godwin. So they can play on the outside and play deep, whereas Edelman can play shallow inside or a slot position.
made another lovely point from downstairs. Center or left tackle. And I agree, whoever was protecting Tom Brady. And I never thought of that until just now. That is what I am very excited to see, because I'm also convinced that part of Tom Brady's whatever that Chris will defend with his dying breath is because they had a great offensive line and he was protected.
Again, the result of Bill Belichick's team building.
So that's who I would have brought with me, is the guys that used to let me not get hit. And when I do, it's going to be roughing the passer because I'm a little bitch.
Right.
Chris, who would you have brought with you? Would you bring Gronk?
Antonio Brown.
So it was so nice having you on this podcast. Thank you so much. What are we at? 239 episodes?
241.
41. So thank you.
That move makes no sense either, just because, again, they have Godwin and Evans. But again, that just makes as much sense as bringing Gronk in when they have Brayton and Howard. So what do I know?
But maybe he's just a little baby and he needs his blankie, and he's like, I'm not going to be the same player without my Gronkowski.
Oh, man.
And I get, like, it doesn't make me as mad as the Kawhi Paul George thing, and like, I will come to you if you bring, because it's not like it was his guy and this is the guy I always play with and he can't get me without.
Yeah.
But then I wasn't pissed when LeBron did it with Miami and brought his buddies.
Right.
Well, they were his buddies outside of.
Yeah, it's not like they played together before that,
Yeah.
right?
They never did.
I just need you to tell me, is this annoying me so much because I hate Tom Brady so much?
Pretty
Or
much.
is it annoying me so much because there's something wrong with it?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's just yeah. I think it's you. I think it's annoying because, you know, why should Tom Brady get his favorite target? But I don't think it's anything to be that upset about. And I honestly don't think. I think that's a really tough division.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think anything's guaranteed about them getting even into the playoffs, let alone.
Yeah, I just don't think Gronk's that difference maker.
He's not. That's why, like, this move doesn't faze me at all.
But then I guess if you need to do it on your own, then why are you insisting on the same guy? Whatever. Okay, let's talk about, there is a glimmer down the pipeline that sports are coming back. And we've talked about it before. We've all made bets on when, but apparently hockey is talking about July.
Okay.
And they're talking about neutral sites. We think football is going to be at the same time. Baseball's still doing their weird Arizona thing.
Is there any timeline on that Arizona thing? Like, is that, have they hammered that out, or is it still in the like planning stage?
I honestly think it's still in the planning stage because tests aren't still a guaranteed thing, right? So until you can get testing guaranteed, you can't really plan anything, can you?
How are tests not guaranteed? How long into this fucking thing are we that we can't be testing people?
Well, according to Trump, tests has always been available. It's up to the states.
Up to the states. And he has hundreds of governors calling him. You've heard about that one, right?
Yeah.
Hundreds of governors are calling him.
Christ.
There's only 50 states, but hundreds of governors are calling him. Let's not get political, though. We don't want to lose our Trump supporter fans.
If you're a Trump supporter, please truly stop subscribing to this podcast.
No, don't do that. Keep listening.
But
listen to us listen to us and hate us. It's fine. Hate listening is just as good as regular listening.
It's true. It's entertaining.
We want the numbers. That's all.
Hate us because they ain't us.
That's right.
So hockey coming back in July, but I'm still anxious because it's going to take one player. And between last podcast and this one, someone whose name I didn't know, and then the name I did know, Von Miller tested positive.
Right.
It's going to take, they can be as safe as they want and, have no fans and neutral sites and blah, blah, blah. But we talked about it last week, the amount of people that have to be involved with a team
Yep.
It's going to take one person to get sick.
That's why it's so paramount to get these tests being readily available.
Mm-hmm. So then thinking about hockey, and I don't want to say Chris was right, but you did bring up a good point about athletes not being in shape. And I think there's ways around it, like home gyms, going for a run, and like there's things you can do. But
I agree.
You are correct. You're not, if you're here, I just hit my mouse and scared the shit out of my dog. If you're here, and again, audio podcast, but picture me holding my hand up high normally. Let's say without a gym, without a training staff, you can be here.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite. You're still great. You're still a professional athlete, but you're not in peak performance. Will the sports will they do any kind of spring training, any kind of warm up before
they're going to have
jumping
to?
straight into it?
I said they have to. At least 2 weeks. At
and
least.
Then with hockey specifically and basketball, because those are the ones going pretty much, we think, directly into their playoffs or championships, will there be an asterisk for you guys with this season?
No, because everyone's in the same boat.
But like maybe, I don't know, because maybe your team would have won if they were a bit better trained. But you think because everyone's
dealing with everyone got hit with the same thing. And the best thing that this has actually done is it's let all those players that were hurt kind of heal up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually,
now you're actually getting the best version of these teams.
Right now, the only other
how does that not give a handicap, like an asterisk to the season of like, hey, if we had faced the Sharks when we were supposed to, we would have beat them, but we're facing the Sharks now when everyone's back.
You should beat them any day of the week. The better team should always win. Yeah. If you're the better team, then you should win. Doesn't matter who's on the ice.
You can't rely on injuries and
you can't.
Random stuff
you can't rely on injuries to say, oh, we would have won because that guy was hurt. So I think this is definitely the ultimate like unasterisk.
Sorry. Yeah. The ultimate what?
Unasterisk.
Unasterisk.
Submit that to the dictionary, folks.
You're welcome.
So every word has asterisks.
Right. Except
this is now the one that you have.
Yeah.
Unasterisk. Yeah. I don't know, but that it's like isn't that the beauty of bracket challenges? Is you get to a certain level because you've had an easy ride and this guy didn't, and if I had been in this end of the bracket and I had played,
sure, no, that's everything.
All the time. If this was the East-West game and I had played Calgary instead, I would have won, and it could have been me in the Grey Cup.
Sure, yeah, but I mean like Mark said, like everybody's going through this right now. So everybody has to do what they have to do to keep in shape or to make sure things are going. Now, the one thing that I thought about is how are hockey players, especially like, let's say you're a hockey player in Los Angeles. You can't have a backyard rink. So where are you skating?
Yeah.
Well, what Marner's doing is he's on his rollerblades.
Okay.
Keep away with his dog with the hockey stick.
Rollerblades are far different from being on the ice.
Oh, I know.
But again, how do you gotta, but I mean, these guys have been skating for their whole lives, right? So it's like riding a bike. You just put the skates on and go. But I don't know. To me, it's just like, we're going to see, it's going to be crazy when it comes back. But I'm super excited for it.
It won't be. I'm going to have a little asterisk.
You're going to have an asterisk? Okay.
Because there was a season that it was supposed to be, I guess. And now there's a season.
But that's like putting an asterisk on when the Houston Rockets won the 2 NBA championships because Michael Jordan decided to go play baseball because he was either suspended
He didn't decide to go play baseball. We've talked about this. We all know what really happened.
I'm just saying that for that situation, you're putting an asterisk on Houston Rockets winning those 2 championships.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't
either, but that's what Tay is like leading towards, though, right?
Well, I mean, I don't want to agree with you, but I guess it's the same as like the Raptors didn't make the championships until LeBron left the East.
Right.
And then they played against the Warriors team that didn't have their best player.
Mm.
That's right.
But
I don't
But
put an asterisk on that, but they will. Others
But
people
that to me gets my point of okay, the Raptors wouldn't have won then.
They might
Because
still have won.
Everyone might, but I'm saying the Raptors last year matched up against people that didn't have their best players.
Right.
But then if we'd waited and they played and everyone got healthy, now they don't win. But they should.
We don't know that. They still probably would have won.
I'm saying we're messing with the timeline.
We're not messing with the timeline. The timeline is the timeline.
The present is the present. We can't change anything.
We can't change it.
But things were supposed to go in a straight line, and now this happened,
and we got to roll with it. And you can't asterisk the roll with it. You can't do it.
Maybe something deep down inside is just hedging because the Bruins were going to win this year.
The Bruins were going to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs again as well.
But they were going to win the cup this year.
I don't know about that.
And I felt it in my bones, and now I'm like, whoa.
And now you're iffy on it. Okay, so now I know. Now we see why we want to.
No, I'm this is a therapy session for me more than anything.
Right,
so maybe
right.
working through.
Do you know who's most happy about the coronavirus? Let me just stop you right there. You know who's most happy about this? The fucking Astros. Because guess who's not talking about the Astros anymore? Nobody's talking about the Astros.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, they came out and announced the punishment for the Red Sox for their scandal.
Oh, of course. Well, no one's paying attention.
Only the video editor is being suspended.
What?
Yeah, and they lost the second round pick, and Coro, who already was fired, is suspended for the year as well.
Wow.
That's it.
The video editor.
The video editor.
I wonder if they just sent out an email and were like, look, if anyone takes the heat for this, here's a bonus. Chris, do you want to say your problem? Yes, I did it. The video editor.
That sucks.
Nobody ever suspects the video editor.
Dave's done a shower, everybody. That fucking sucks. Stupid Major League Baseball. Yeah, I've heard that no one is happier about this than the Houston Astros. Because is anyone going to remember?
Oh, I mean, we won't forget, just we stopped talking about it. So all the momentum of people talking about it and saying, strip them of the title, this and that, like, it's not going to happen now.
No, they just want baseball back. But then when baseball comes back, the signs will be out there.
Oh God, yeah. We won't forget something like this. Like shit, we still talk about shit that happened 20 years ago. It's not going anywhere. Just the punishment will never happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so the NFL draft is tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? Wow. Okay.
I know we're all very excited, but Dave's gonna watch it because he says, "Well, it's sports." That's true. And Dave, before watching the draft, watches Draft Day, the movie, and then watches the draft. Which, again, if we're talking sexist movies, ooh.
I've never watched Draft Day. I've never watched it.
Neither have I.
It's genuinely a pretty solid movie, but except for the rampant overt sexism, because it's a Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
So Kevin Costner is Kevin Costner, and he is old, and Jennifer Garner is not as old, but we are led to believe that she is also this brilliant, like she's
a capitalist.
She's like a cap analyst, but of course she has to be having sex with Kevin Costner's character. It's unnecessary. Anyways, it's actually an okay movie, and but apparently they did a mock draft yesterday,
Monday night,
and it fucked up.
Oh, really?
They're doing all of this like streaming via Zoom,
right?
And it's all digital. They fucked it up.
Amazing.
It already fucked up.
And guess the team that fucked it up?
Patriots.
The Browns.
The Bengals with the #1 overall pick.
No.
All the bungles.
It ended up getting delayed by 2.5 minutes because they couldn't get their shit together and figure it out.
That's amazing.
It's like, guys, how do we spell burrows? Is it with 1 R? 2 R's? Fuck.
It's like your family doing a practice Zoom call before Shabbat. All the old people were really excited about doing Passover via Zoom, but because they're all super old, they had to do a test Zoom call the day before.
Make sure it works.
Make sure it works. Make sure they knew what to do. It's very cute. Friends, Jesus, I was gonna say any other sports news we want to talk about, but
Well, I got one because we'll just touch on it quickly. Djokovic. Did we hear about Djokovic?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
No.
Mark,
He's a huge anti-vaxxer now. I
Mark,
didn't know about that.
explain to me what happened here, because I
No,
heard
I
about
heard-
it and I'm trying to read about it right now because I'm like I wanted to touch on it, but
I was off of him a while ago because he said some shitty thing about like women's tennis and women playing about like it was very like it and they shouldn't be playing. But what is this new thing?
No, apparently he's against vaccinations altogether.
okay. So now maybe that's the case and maybe he expanded, but the quote is, personally, I am opposed to vaccination against COVID-19 in order to be able to travel. But if it becomes compulsory, I will make a decision whether to do it or not. This is my current feeling. I don't know if it will change, but it really influences my profession. So he says that he's against taking a COVID-19 vaccination. I'm trying to see where else he says about anti-vaxxing, because saying he's against taking a COVID-19 vaccination is totally different than saying he's an anti-vaxxer.
How do you feel about people who are against the flu shot?
Do you want me to answer that?
Do you never get a flu shot?
I've never had a flu shot in my life.
Mark?
Last time I had it was in high school, I want to say.
Hmm.
I'm not against it. I just
Yeah.
don't see a necessary for it.
I am not against it, but when you hear its effectiveness is like 34%.
Yeah, they just
Is that better than 0%?
that's true.
Yes, I guess.
Well, I've heard, and again, as a scientician,
Right.
I've heard like they just kind of guess they're at what strain is going to be the flu virus this
Right.
year,
Right.
and so it's like it might be right. But I didn't get it before Dave, but he has a compromised immune system.
Correct.
Fellow that he is, if I get it, he could get it. And like my Grams was in, obviously when she was alive, was in nursing homes. She's not anymore in nursing homes. But I had to get, it was like you can't visit these
Right.
old people unless you say you've had your flu shot.
Right. And you don't want to be a liar.
My fucking flu shot.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oof, I'm against it. So I'm gonna have to think about it. It's like,
so
well,
again,
no.
again though,
I
it's
don't want to kill an old woman, although she ended up dying anyways. I don't want to. She was very, very old. That's not a joke about it.
lived a very good life, right?
She was 95. She had a great time. Yeah,
I'm just saying that isn't it a stretch to go from I won't take. I looked at 3 different articles here in the last 15 minutes trying to find where it goes deeper, like, oh, vaccinations are bullshit and they give autism and all this, and I didn't see any of that.
But as someone who doesn't take the flu shot, I'll be the first one to say I will happily take a COVID-19
Oh yeah,
vaccination.
absolutely. If they said, hey, we got the vaccine, I'm in, I'm taking it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Not cured COVID-19.
What if the flu shot cures COVID-19?
Then I will go line
I'll
up
take
and
the
get
flu
the
shot.
flu shot.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not like opposed to.
You have a 34% chance of COVID-19.
Ooh.
Damn, you've twisted everything on me.
Goddamn anti-vaxxers.
There it is. And there it is.
I'm trying to find Djokovic's shitty women's remarks.
Yeah, he's probably a piece of shit, and I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just saying where does it go against? Where does it say that I'm against this vaccine means I'm against all vaccines?
Well, if he's against the vaccine, that's for the times pretty important. Why would he be for vaccines for lesser stuff like the flu?
True. Well,
Right?
I mean, and we all know that the vaccine is because Bill Gates. What was it, Mark? Bill Gates.
Apparently, Bill Gates create this virus because they want to decrease the world population. So this was his way of doing it.
Right.
And then to make money off of it, he also has the cure.
Bill
Apparently.
Gates is Thanos.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Right. I just wanted to, because I found the Djokovic women's stuff. So he was basically asked, I think he said other shit about women's tennis and when they were fighting for equal pay. Do you think the prize money should be equal if it was up to you? Listen, again, my answer is not just yes and no. It's women. Women should fight for what they think they deserve, and we should fight for what we think we deserve. Men's rights, everyone. I think as long as it's like that, and there's data and stats available and information, upon who attracts more attention, spectators, who sells more tickets and stuff like that, in relation to how it's fairly distributed. So, and this is the follow-up question. So if the stats show at some point that women's tennis attracts more people, men should get less. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Again,
So, I'm just saying I canceled him a while ago.
Right. You're already out on him.
What a Karen thing to say, right? Cancel culture.
Oh yeah, the best.
Okay, friends, think about next week. 2 questions, and listeners, please think about yours as well. Tweet us, Facebook, Instagram, at Scotch Sporting, YouTube, we're at Rabble Press, or on Twitch, we're at Zanisdesef, ZAENISDESEF on Twitch. So comment on any of those things. Question the first. Each sport, best player to never win a championship.
Just one, or can we name a couple? Because I got a couple for all sports.
No, best.
No,
It's a
one. Best.
1. Second, best team to never win their championship. And I want to do that for each sport as well.
Perfect.
So we're talking about teams in a certain season, right? Because it could be teams that won before, but this one season they were so great, but then came up short, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Talking
Okay.
about
Yeah, like
teams.
when the Patriots had a perfect season. Oh wait, sorry, no, they didn't.
They didn't.
Well, yeah, like Tampa Bay had won the Stanley Cup, but then they absolutely should have won it a couple times since then, and have been the best team.
Yes.
But they're
But I don't know.
garbage.
The
They're
garbage.
You're garbage.
So check us out on all those things. Think about those 2 questions, my fellow podcasters and anyone listening, and we will chat about it next week. And thanks for listening, everybody.
You've been listening to a Rebel Press podcast. Visit rebelpress.com for more podcasts.